Atlanta Dream, they are not happy with Angel Reese. Angel Reese was an absolute travesty to the game of basketball today. She humiliated herself out there. It was ridiculous. The girl missed about 8 or 9 layups right at the rim. She blew a fast break layup all by herself, and she blew the game-winning layup. Alicia Gray, not happy.
And then we got 2 looks, right at the end of the game that, could have won it for us, but they rolled out.
He's pissed. We got 2 looks right at the end of the game, 2 layups, and they just rolled out. He's pissed.
She lost them that game. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. If she would have hit that layup, game over. Game over. I had nothing to say.
Angel Reese had the game right there in her hands, and she let it slip through her fingers in the most painful way possible. Indiana Fever walked into Atlanta's building, and by the time the final buzzer sounded, Reese was the one standing under the rim while Caitlin Clark celebrated another road statement win. She did not walk away as the hero of this game. She walked away as the reason a lot of Atlanta fans went to bed angry that night.
I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all defend her. The score is 81-81 in the fourth quarter. 6 seconds left.
Atlanta Dream has a chance to win this game.
Then this happens.
5 seconds. Howard launches. Missed it badly. Reese the putback. Won't go. Hillman. No.
Like, I truly do not understand. Angel Reese is a professional basketball player. Why do she miss so many layups? Like, look. Layups is like the second thing that you learn when you first start basketball. The first thing is how to dribble a basketball. Then the coach will bring you down to that block, exactly where she missed that layup, and teach you how to shoot off that square. But I don't think nobody taught her.
If you want to understand why this rivalry keeps producing chaos every single time these 2 teams meet, this game gives you the entire blueprint. It had everything. A furious head coach who could barely keep his composure at the podium. A missed game winner that will get replayed on highlight reels for the wrong reasons. A questionable overtime foul call that almost flipped the entire result. And a fan base that is now openly asking whether Angel Reese should even suit up for Atlanta's next game. By the next morning, people who do not even follow the WNBA closely were talking about this one.
Much of a difference not having Jordan Canada in today's game kind of potentially maybe have impacted the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. You have to go with what you have. And I think the players that that played today gave us a great chance to win. I mean, we're literally 1 possession, from winning the game against a very good team who's been playing really well. But, JC is a fantastic point guard, and obviously, particularly against the zone, she's somebody that we count on for penetrating to the middle and then passing it out to our shooters or dumping it down behind. So, and then just she makes such a difference in our transition game and gives us an extra really good defender out there. So we miss her, but, she couldn't go today. So the people that went, I thought, did well enough to win. She was competitive. Her performance to be able to contribute that way when you're having to guard one of the best players in the league.
Let's start with the press conference, because you did not need to be a body language expert to see what was going on with the Atlanta coach after this one. He sat down at that podium, and you could feel the frustration coming off him before he even said a single word. His jaw was tight. His answers were short and clipped. Every time a reporter brought up the final possession, you could see him almost flinch, like he was reliving it in real time all over again in front of the cameras.
We haven't seen a lot of zone, but we have worked on it in practice, and I think in practice we've done really well against it. I just think today, late in the game, we kind of went away from what we typically do against zone and just kind of watched one person with the ball instead of, creating the kind of shots that we usually do versus zone. And if we would have done that, we probably would have seen like 2 possessions of zone. But I think because we were, passing and just letting them get matched up and stay matched up, I think we saw it a lot more than we would have otherwise.
He kept repeating the same line over and over, almost like he was trying to convince himself of it as much as the room full of reporters. He said his team did everything right. He said it once. Then he said it again a few questions later. Then a third time when a reporter pushed back and asked what actually went wrong in that final sequence. And he still could not quite land on a satisfying answer. When a coach has to repeat we did everything right 3 or 4 separate times in a single press conference, that usually is not confidence talking. That is a coach trying to protect a player without ever saying her name out loud while still visibly frustrated underneath every word.
Angel Reese not only missed a cherry-picked layup on a fast break attempt, not only did Angel Reese miss at least 7 to 8 layups in this game alone, not only is Angel Reese not a good basketball player, but for a game when she had a chance to seal the deal for her team riding on her back, Ryan Howard just missed the shot, Angel Reese got the rebound, got the seal, alright, put herself in position, cool, you got the rebound, and missed it. There's no way. And this is where Caitlin Clark turns troll mode into full effect. Point blank putback. You can see Caitlin. Yo, Caitlin is a troll. Yo, Caitlin is a troll, man. She just smiling, laughing. Like, you can't make this up, man. Angel Reese over there holding a seance. Look at this, man. This is where C22 gets the last laugh.
And here is the part that made his frustration make complete sense once you actually watch the footage back. Atlanta had 2 separate looks at the rim in the final seconds of regulation. 2. Not one lucky bounce, not one contested prayer heaved up under pressure, but 2 legitimate point-blank opportunities to end the game right there and send everyone home with a win in their building. The first one came off a physical offensive rebound battle where Atlanta fought and clawed for position against a tough Indiana front line, got the ball back cleanly in traffic, and had a wide-open look at the basket from point-blank range. It did not go in. The rebound came right back out, live, in the middle of the paint.
That fan base loves to talk trash about Caitlin anytime Caitlin has any type of mishaps. And it don't look nothing like this one. And it's people already making excuses when it comes to people already saying, oh, Nas Hillman had a chance too. No, because when they played Washington the first time, because we know Caitlin hit the shot the next time they played, but when Caitlin missed that shot, y'all didn't want to talk about Mitchell missing that shot also. They both had the chance to win. Y'all said, oh no, it's on Caitlin. Cool. When Caitlin missed those 2 free throws a couple weeks ago, y'all didn't want to talk about Mitchell also missing her free throws right before Caitlin did. No, it was on Caitlin. So guess what?
The second chance came almost immediately after that, a scramble follow-up attempt from even closer range with the clock bleeding down towards 0. That one did not go in either. 2 chances back-to-back with the game sitting right there for the taking. 0 points to show for either one of them. That is the kind of stat line that will make any coach's blood boil in a press conference, and it clearly did exactly that.
But what are some key things from this game that you're planning on telling the team or hoping that they talk against each other to take to the next game?
Well, I think it shows that, we have a really good team. I mean, Indiana's excellent, and despite being shorthanded, we were right there. That's why it hurt so much, is because we were right there.
You was right there, but Angel Reese gotcha. Angel Reese gotcha, man. Carl Semesco, he's livid. He's pissed about this loss. Alicia Gray is pissed. It's nasty work, man. Angel, you really let him down. You smoked that layup, and they about sick and tired of you.
With the game on the line, she had the ball in her hands with a real chance to be the hero of this entire night. This was supposed to be her signature moment. The kind of bucket that gets replayed for years in a rivalry this heated between 2 of the league's biggest young names. Instead, the shot did not fall. It was not even close, either. In a game defined by fine margins the entire night, that miss ended up being the single biggest swing moment of the whole matchup.
She could have hit that layup. And let me go ahead and throw this out the way. This isn't the only time that she missed a wide open layup this game.
Sherrod with Reese leaking out, finds her, and Reese.
Okay, if y'all don't think the other one should have been wide open, how do you explain this? She was butt naked ass open, and she missed the layup. You can't defend this. Y'all remember when she was on the Chicago Sky, one interview and she said this.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, absolutely not. There's plenty of players that I watch other than you. That lady right there, Kelsey Mitchell, Olivia Miles, definitely. Asia Wilson, but not this. But not.
This is where the online outrage really kicked into gear, because this was not some isolated, one-off incident that came out of nowhere. Fans have watched this exact pattern play out from Reese over and over again across her career. Missed point-blank layups that should be automatic. Rebounding her own missed shots instead of just finishing clean the first time around. Coming up empty in moments that actually mattered. In games that actually counted for something in the standings. And when it happened again on this stage, against this specific opponent, in front of this many eyes watching live, people were not exactly in a forgiving mood the next morning.
Kayla got the last line. Hey, listen, man, this definitely made my night. There's nothing they could do to take this night away. They can't launch no investigation. You tried that already. You can't. Hey, listen, this is what happened when the girl who cries wolf runs out of wolves to cry over. Now the wolf ate you, Angel. Now we don't care about your fake sob stories. You missed a game winner layup. You missed multiple layups. The last thing you want to do is put attention into this game. Get up out of here, man. This is bad works by Angel Reese.
Social media absolutely exploded the second that shot missed. Clips of the sequence spread across every platform within minutes, racking up views before most fans had even finished watching the overtime period play out. The reaction was brutal, and it did not really let up as the night went on. One fan wrote that Reese's has had years now to fix her finishing around the rim, and it is still the exact same story every single time the moment actually gets tense and the stakes get real. Another fan pointed out that this was supposed to be one of the most anticipated individual matchups of the entire season. Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. And by the end of the night, it was obvious that only one of them actually showed up to play basketball. That comment alone got shared thousands of times because it captured exactly what everybody watching at home was already thinking, but had not quite put into words yet.
At the end of regulation, when the missed shot happened, some of y'all kind of surrounded Angel and were kind of saying some words of encouragement. What are some things y'all said there and kind of some things you'll go forward and saying to encourage each other after this loss?
I mean, it happens like we know any other time like Angel will make a shot. I mean, she knows she'll make the shot, but in that moment, you just got to encourage your teammates. Like, no one person lost us the game. It's a team effort. And just like she's with us when we're struggling, we do the same thing for Angel. I mean, it's a sisterhood. Like, we really love each other, support each other. So, I mean, I'll put everything on the line that the next time she gets a shot like that, she'll make it 100%. It's just this time she came up a little short, but I mean, I have all the faith in the world of Angel that she's going to finish her shots.
Here is where things got interesting inside the Atlanta locker room and press room afterward. The team tried to circle the wagons and defend Reese publicly, the way teammates and coaches are supposed to do right after a tough, heartbreaking loss like this one. That is standard practice in sports. Protect your own. But you could tell it was not sitting right with any of them once the cameras started rolling. The words coming out of their mouths said one thing, expressing support and confidence in her going forward, but the tone, the long pauses, the way certain follow-up questions kept getting deflected instead of answered head-on told a completely different story underneath the surface. This was a team that had the game. They were up. They controlled large stretches of that fourth quarter and fought back from adversity multiple times to give themselves a real shot at closing it out. They had every reason walking into that final possession to believe they were about to hand Indiana a loss on their own home floor, in front of their own fans. And then it slipped away in the most agonizing fashion imaginable. Not once, but twice in the final seconds. You do not lose a game like that and walk into a press conference feeling calm and settled inside, no matter how much you try to project that image publicly for the cameras and the beat reporters in the room.
Coach, at the end of the fourth quarter, obviously Angel and Nas had an opportunity to hit potential game-winning baskets. When Angel missed, obviously Ryan and Alicia were kind of there to console. What was your message to Angel after she missed that shot?
We just had to move on to the next play. I mean, we did what we didn't run there was supposed to be one screen in there, and we kind of forgot the screen. But then Rye, took the shot, and we told those two to, really crash the boards and give us a second chance. They both did exactly what we asked for them. And then we got two looks, right at the end of the game that, could have won it for us, but, they rolled out. Just kind of a bad break.
That underlying tension is exactly why the Drop Angel Reese conversation started gaining serious traction online almost immediately after the final buzzer sounded. Reporters started asking pointed, direct questions about her role going forward into the next game, and the answers coming from the Atlanta side were noticeably vague and hedged. Nobody outright said she is getting benched for the next matchup. But nobody firmly shut the door on that possibility either, and in this business, when a coaching staff leaves that door even slightly cracked open, fans and analysts are going to run straight through it within minutes. The chatter about Atlanta potentially sitting her for the next game, or at the very least restructuring her minutes in crunch time, was everywhere by the next morning across every platform. And it did not come from nowhere. It came directly from a coach and a locker room that could not fully hide their frustration no matter how hard they tried to stay composed in front of the microphones.
Keisha Gray tried, Angel Reese lied, Indiana Fever in 5. 5 quarters, let's get it. Hey man, look, we handle business. And the team, listen, Caitlin Clark is MVP. Putting the team on her back and getting everybody involved. Everybody was involved. KK, Ty Harris, Kelsey Mitchell, even though they put her in foul trouble, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, everybody was involved. Not just a one-person show. That's MVP. That's the most valuable. You making everybody involved. What are we talking about? Give that girl her MVP right now. God.
While all of that drama was unfolding around Reese and the Atlanta bench, Caitlin Clark was busy doing exactly what she has built her entire reputation on doing night after night. Indiana walked into a hostile road environment deep in Atlanta's own building, with the crowd loud and desperate and the Dream playing with genuine urgency in the fourth quarter and overtime. And Clark just kept delivering anyway, possession after possession, like the noise simply did not register with her at all. She hit tough, contested shots exactly when her team needed buckets the most. She got to the free throw line in the biggest moments of the night and calmly knocked them down without the slightest hesitation, even with the building rocking around her. This was not a case of Indiana sneaking out of Atlanta with some lucky, fortunate win. This was Clark walking into somebody else's home crowd and simply taking the game away from them in front of their own fans, in their own building. That is exactly the kind of performance that fuels the entire narrative around this rivalry every single time these two teams meet on the schedule. Fans had been building this specific matchup up for weeks leading into it, calling it one of the most anticipated head-to-head battles of the entire season between two of the league's biggest young stars. And when it actually came down to crunch time, when the pressure was at its absolute highest, the gap in composure and execution between the two players could not have been more obvious to anyone watching. Clark delivered when it mattered. Reese did not. That is the story of this game, whether people want to say it bluntly out loud or not.
Let's see. Oh, I don't see anything there. There's a little bit of contact.
It's less than contact. It's a touch.
Yeah.
It's a touch, and that you don't call that all game long. I will be surprised, Ryan, if they don't overturn it here.
After review, the contact by Caitlin Clark is deemed illegal. Therefore, it is an unsuccessful challenge. Indiana is charged a timeout.
Wow.
I'm surprised.
Now here is the part of this game that is going to keep getting talked about for a while, because it almost flipped the entire outcome in the final seconds. Late in overtime, with Indiana holding a slim lead, officials called a foul on Clark that sent an Atlanta player to the free throw line for 3 attempts. Watch the replay back closely, and it is genuinely hard to see where the actual foul happened. It did not look like real, meaningful contact. It did not look like the kind of play that usually draws a whistle in a moment that tense and that consequential. But the call stood anyway, and Atlanta capitalized on it, cutting the lead down in a hurry and giving themselves a real, legitimate shot at stealing the game right back after everything that had already gone wrong for them in regulation just minutes earlier. For a few tense seconds, it genuinely looked like the officials were about to hand this game right back to Atlanta after Indiana had already survived a full fourth quarter of chaos, controversy, and desperation basketball on the road. That is a big deal when you actually stop and think about it. Consider everything that had to break in Atlanta's favor for them to still have a real chance to win late in this game. They got 2 point-blank looks at the rim in regulation. They got a shaky, questionable foul call in overtime that put an Atlanta player on the line for 3 free throws in the final seconds. Every single break that could have gone their way did go their way at some point during that stretch of the game. And it still was not enough for Atlanta to close it out. Indiana weathered that entire stretch, closed the door when it mattered most, and walked out of Atlanta with the result they had come there to get. That is the part that should really stick with people watching this rivalry continue to play out week after week, season after season. It is not just that Clark outplayed Reese individually on this particular night on the stat sheet. It is that Indiana had to survive a hostile road environment, an inconsistent whistle, and a legitimate late chance for Atlanta to steal the whole game away from them, and they still found a way to finish the job when the pressure was at its highest point.
You Angel Reese fans, if y'all can get on her and clown Caitlin anytime she has some misfortunes, Caitlin Clark fans can do the exact same thing. The problem is, for one, y'all can't take what y'all dish out. But two, y'all get overwhelmed because Caitlin may have a situation like that once every 10 games. Angel Reese is going to have probably 10 of those situations every single game. So I understand why you're in your feelings. But you wouldn't be in your feelings if y'all would just shut up. You don't have to take the time to clown Caitlin. But since you do, we would definitely return the favor.
For Reese, this defeat is going to sting for a while, and probably a lot longer than just this single game on the schedule. She had the exact moment she wanted, the ball in her hands with the game on the line against the one player this entire rivalry revolves around every single time they share the floor. That is the kind of chance that gets remembered for years when it goes right. The kind of moment that turns into a career-defining highlight. Instead, she is now the player sitting at the center of a Drop Angel Reese conversation trending across every platform, with her own coach unable to fully mask his frustration in front of the cameras during his own press conference. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, walked into a building that was loud, hostile, and desperate for a home win. Survived every questionable break that came her way over the course of the fourth quarter and overtime, and still left with exactly what she came there for. In a rivalry defined by physicality and controversy at nearly every single turn since these two entered the league, this was the night where composure and clutch execution ended up mattering more than anything else on the floor. Only one player on that court actually showed up when the moment demanded it, and everyone watching, including Atlanta's own coach at that podium, could see it plainly for exactly what it was.